Dockers are in Melbourne and they're on the ground at the Dome. It's a big challenge for the Dockers today, Vossi.
It sure is. They've had some big games in the past. If they lose today, it just puts enormous pressure, or even more pressure than what they've had before. So
it certainly is too for Carlton, who have had their own patchy form this year. They've had some good signs, but they were disappointing last week. They got smashed particularly early by Brisbane.
Yeah, they look like boys as we see the Blues run out just in front of us here. And look, they just got beaten all over the park last week, and you know, they relied too much on Fremantle in that forward half, we know. So they need a few guys stepping up in that part of the ground for the Blues to win today.
They certainly do. One area they could have the edge is the midfield. So with some experience there, Chris Judd, Nick Stevens leading the way, and some youngsters, maybe that's an area they can get on top of Fremantle. Let's take a closer look at the lineup, starting probably where they've got their biggest issues, which is in defence. Jamison out of the side injured, and Thornton hasn't come up.
Yeah, and Satanta no doubt will probably play. He played on Brown last week, so you expect the Pavlich match up there. And this is the guy I'd really like to be able to stand up for the Carlton Football Club, and that's Jared Waite. He needs to be able to hold down that position for Carlton to go forward in this season. And there's a dynamic centre line, Stevens, Judd and Murphy. Quite an outstanding punch there, no doubt. Fisher was very quiet last week, as we mentioned, and they just need to get some more goals out of him, and Patfull kept him quiet last week. And Favola, Eddie Betts, great life. He had a lot of spirit there last week, and Fev's still got his shots on goal, but still too reliant on Fev to kick the winning score.
Interesting, they've gone with Hampson in the ruck this week after Ackland played just a one game last week.
Well, they obviously listened to Wolsey and the selection committee upstairs, because they've gone with someone different, of course. But
and they've got to take on Sandilands, so it's a big challenge for him.
It's a very big challenge.
And Cruiser, there's the benches as they'll line. Let's talk about Favola and talk about the amount of reliance. Is it an over-reliance? That's the question. There's the inside 50 targets this year. 115 Favola. Next, Fisher with just 22.
And look, as they mature as a side, they'll start to get people around him that can they're able to kick goals, so the focus is not just on him.
We can take a closer look at their lineup now, and they've had a few injury problems as well with Hayden. He's an important runner out of their defence. Grover comes back though, and he's done a good job on Fev in the past.
Yeah, big job, but McFarlane and you know, Thornton and Mundy, they have to help him out, because as you said before, all the forward attack goes to Favola, so a big job there. And some new guys through the middle. You've got Palmer and Ibbotson, who have been really good in their just debut season. So
Palmer
very good there.
Palmer averaging 22 and Ibbotson 19. Tarrant kicked 4 last week, some good signs.
Yeah, and a little fumbly, but he's making ground. He's still getting the contest, and that's a very, very good sign. And of course, just need a bit more from Farmer and Pavlich. We've spoken about him, just the importance that he is to the Fremantle Football Club. I expect Crowley to get Judd matchup. You wouldn't expect anything different there. That's a very important matchup, as is in the ruck, Sandilands against the young ruckman from the Blues.
One thing they will need to get right is the interchange, because that comes into full effect today. They are playing for real, so any infringements, and they will give away a free kick and a 50-metre penalty. So the infringements, of course, basically, if they've got 19 men on the field, and that's even if it's just for a second. And there we see the spot on the ground. So if they give away one of these infringements, that is where they'll be kicking from. So that's inside 50. So it goes from the centre, 50-metre penalty, kicking from inside 50. So basically, they're giving away a goal. So they'll be wanting to get that right today. We'll be keeping an eye on it, as will you, Michael Christian, I'm sure.
Yes, thank you, Christy. Busy day for you, and this new interchange rule creating plenty of controversy. There's Brendan Favola, and you would expect he'd need to kick a bag for if the Blues are to get over the Dockers this afternoon. Grover, the matchup on Fisher. Matthew Pavlich being picked up by Satanta O'Halpin, and this is a controversial start. An early free kick to Matthew Pavlich before the ball is bounced in the centre against O'Halpin. And what a start for the Fremantle captain this will be. Directly in front, just 30 metres from goal.
50, I think.
And some back chat and a 50-metre penalty, making this an absolute certainty. There's Matthew Pavlich appealing for the free kick.
Set the free kick. I don't hear any more there.
And he pops it through. So unbelievable start here at the Dome. Fremantle have a goal. And Satanta O'Halpin remonstrating with the umpire.
What would that free kick be for? Chris?
Well,
unduly rough conduct. It's not pushing the back. It's a bump.
Well, he put him down off the ball, and now here it is here.
Leaf knees.
Oh. No, look, I'm just saying what it was for. That was what it was for, and that was soft. And Matthew Pavlich certainly milked it.
He did it in the back a bit, Vossi, which was probably what meant that it was definitely over the line as a free, I reckon.
So there's O'Halpin and Pavlich going hard at it, but unbelievable start to the game here at the Telstra Dome. It certainly has. And Carlton free kick out of the centre. Hampson off to Bentic. Brilliantly tackled though by Money. Just was able to slip it. Off to Judd. Tracking backwards. Carazzo in the true centre half back position. And drills it out wide. Bentic from centre wing. Kick to Favola, who's involved early.
Speed. Just dropped off his man too easy. Took off and just couldn't stay with him.
So Brendan Favola, 36 goals in the opening 8 rounds. 5-4 last week against Brisbane. And an opportunity here to level it up. Here's a beautiful kick of the ball. The Carlton spearhead. Has it got the carry? They contest. Oh, big mark by Sandilands. And that's going to be a real worry for the Blues this afternoon, his height and dominance.
Yeah, it's going to be a real issue for them, isn't it, to see whether they can counter.
Well, they just have to compete against him. Whether they mark it or not, they just have to make sure that that ball comes to ground.
Palmer's been terrific so far. 27 disposals last week. And averaging 22. McFarlane and Grover, who's got the job on Fev as we expected. And on for Johnson, who looks like he might have the role on Fisher. They do have some tall talent, don't they, Fremantle, as compared to Carlton, whereas the Blues probably have a bit of extra strength and polish in the midfield. Brings Grover into the action, who wants to give it back to him. Careful movement of the ball, not particularly good movement. It brought Judd and then Favola into the action. No one coming at Fev allows him to hit Eddie Betts. Was he over the line? He was. Out on the full. So a bit of an innocuous start to this match.
Stephen Dodd at half-back for the Dockers. Almost chips it towards Sandilands. Judd did very well, intercepting, ball close to the line and over. So a boundary throw in on the City wing.
No surprises there either, Vossi, with Crowley running alongside Judd.
No surprises. There's a bit of a surprise though. Bentic going to Palmer. That is the ultimate respect. Bentic took black last week. There's a young man in his first season that's getting tagged, so that's the respect that they have for him.
Judd gave it up to Ibbotson, charging through. Well played, Wade. Couldn't quite find the opening. The ground level Bentic involved again. Farmer out the back, or looping handball towards Thornton, put him under the pump, held to him. What's the umpire going to do here? He's going to call for a bounce. Good wrap-up tackle coming from Carazzo, so a bounce onto the wing.
Freo with the opening goal, courtesy of the free kick and the 50-metre penalty. Sandilands, he's going to palm it down all day, you would think. Speaking of palms, Palmer had the chance, couldn't escape. How do they best utilise? Would there be a theory that Sandilands with the height should just smash the ball forward, Vossi, at times?
Well, with that clear, certainly if I'm Carlton at the moment, I'm thinking I'm going to rove off this man's hand.
They're trying to there. Bauer, Griggs, who's had some moments this year where he looks like he's coming on. Pfeiffer's in there as well. In fact, Pfeiffer's the man who's going to climb to his feet to take the free. He was the late inclusion this afternoon. Able to bring Simpson into the play. And nothing long on. Grigg gives him the shortest of options, which he takes. And now through the middle, they can use weight. And good running provided by Bauer, who's thinking of Fev initially. Was there any interference in that? There wasn't. Somehow it's got through. And I don't know how, but Eddie Betts has taken the mark. Seemed to go over about 3 or 4 Freo players' hands and just sit nicely into Eddie Betts.
Well, he popped out of nowhere, didn't he? He just attacked the ball. He didn't wait for it. And it did go over Fev's head. He went to ground. But it was Eddie Betts who attacked the ball.
And Eddie Betts, such a crucial player for the Blues. Just kicked 1 goal against Fremantle in his last 4 outings, but he's got one early today, scores level.
Played a pretty good game last week, Eddie Betts. He was the life in the forward line. He looked pretty dangerous. And it's good to see him get a bit of reward.
He just robbed
this game.
He just robbed Dean Solomon there, didn't he? Because Solomon just getting down on one knee to accept the chest mark. And as you said, Vossi, Betts was the one that really attacked it. So after the early goal to Pavlich, the Blues have responded, certainly had most of the play. Sandlin's to do battle against Hampson, and despite Sandlin's dominance, Fremantle ranked last in clearances. He does it and got to get it to Palmer. Sharp by Bentic. Dropped the ball off for mine. Oh, gee. Not sure about that. Bentic thought about giving it off to Scotland. Instead decides to hoist it high. Dodd going back. Couldn't quite get there. Young comes Edwards. Missed by Pfeiffer. Palmer. Johnson and also Dodd involved. He's been penalised. Good tackle coming from Jared Waite. Between wing and half forward, there's the lead from Favola. McFarlane with the job on this occasion. He kicks into the pocket and cutting across. Well done, Palmer. Pass was intended for Favola, and Reece Palmer, who's made a stellar start to his AFL career, averaging 22 disposals in his first 7 games. Only Brett Ratton and Joe Mercedes have averaged more in their opening 7 games. McManus, Ibbotson, Sandilands, all he could do towards that man Palmer.
So you can find the footy.
Can't he just off a step, almost floats it towards half forward. Pavlich and O'Halpin. Thornton in support. So is Black. Gives it straight up to Waite though, but it's over in any case. So a boundary throw in between wing and half forward for the Dockers.
He's already had 4 touches, Vossi Palmer.
Well, just watching him, innately he hunts the ball very, very well. He positions himself outstanding. So we watch the ruckman go up again.
And we watch escape from the masses and head for Betts, who's made a good promising start with Dodd for company. Pokes them inside 50 for Fev, who just couldn't get to the drop of the footy. McFarlane back to lend a hand. Still under some pressure. Grover uses Solomon. And again, they're going to go out of defence by hand. They've got a number of options on the way out. And Mundy's able to get the ball quickly up to the wing. Now, Tarrant kicked 4 last week. So that's as good as he's ever done for Fremantle. High ball inside 50. Thornton camped underneath it. Pav comes late. Got high contact. Umpire didn't see it, but Pav didn't care. Over the top for Bell for a pretty easy one. Boy, they've been efficient when they've gone forward. I say that partially with tongue-in-cheek because they got the first one from the 50-metre penalty and free kick.
Well, this is Pavlich. Should have got the free kick. It was definitely high contact. And just over the shoulder there, but it was the hands out in front. He let his player run onto it. And Bell kicks the goal. And when you become a great player, this is the protection you get around a stoppage. You see Bentic at the left of the screen there, just gives that little block and then goes and attacks the ball. So even though you are blocking for another player, it doesn't mean you can't hunt the football at the same time.
Dockers by 6 points. Early going. Crucial game for both clubs. Sandlin's dominant again. Mundy immediately wrapped up by Waite, who somehow found the football at ground level. And handball's on his back. Brown crunched by Ibbotson. Bentic busy early. Handball astray. Thornton got boot the ball very quickly. Tarrant and Bauer. This will be an interesting battle. Chris Tarrant finding some form. Got to beat 3 at the moment. And 3 almost always beats 1, and Scotland emerges. Probing kick towards Fisher. Through him. Simpson and Solomon coming up to meet the footy hard. Boundary throw in half forward for the Blues.
It worked out. Vossi, what's your feel for this game so far?
I think it's pretty tight. I think that Carlton are putting some good pressure on the defence, and Fremantle have gone forward a couple of times and kicked a couple of goals, so being pretty efficient, very tight.
That man Palmer involved again with Black G, set Johnson up, who's done well to ride it out, and no net loss for them all. Ibbotson with issues. Hurried kick. Here's big Sandlin's charging through. Gets it back to Ibbotson. Here's another one that can find the footy. Michael Johnson's been reasonably prolific this year as well. That's not a great kick. And Jordan Russell, who is gradually finding his feet as a senior footballer, brings Cruiser in, and now O'Halpin on the way out.
Now O'Halpin, Simpson in the centre. Now he's got an option wide. Stevens, who can mark and go. Decides to go back, looking for Favola. Here he comes, deep in the pocket. Chopping at the arms, I thought. And the umpire sees it that way. Free kick to Favola, 45 from goal. Angle a bit worse than 45 degrees. There's the pull of the arm, left arm by McFarlane. Fair enough, so Favola with an opportunity here to kick his first goal of the afternoon. 28-18 from set shots. He'll need to kick a bag full if the Blues are going to win this afternoon. But we know he's capable. Just pulled it a touch left, so 5 points, the Fremantle advantage.
He was badly off target early last week.
Yeah, he was,
wasn't he?
Yeah, and then he found his boot. Still had 9 shots on goal last week, and you'd say he had, well, I wouldn't say a quiet game, but Brisbane were able to stop the other avenues of scores to goal.
If in doubt, go for the tallest player. That was Fremantle's mantra there out of defence. Shamma Solomon too slow, has turned it over.
Judo away too.
Yeah, Gibbs is ready to take it, gets the reaps the reward severely because there's options. Simpson, Murphy, has got another Lucy over the top. Oh, it's poor disposal to Fisher, and that's one that got away. So the margin is 5. Carlton pressing here to try and get in front. You look at the difference in size between Cruiser and Sandlands. Doesn't matter. Fisher has made amends. That wasn't the one that got away. That was a big catch. And the Blues lead by a point.
Well, we mentioned about them getting goals from other players other than Favola, and Fisher is one of those players. To be able to not only mark it in the air but find it at ground level and get a few goals in that manner is very important to his game.
Another example, Sandlands dominating the air, but at ground level, Fremantle struggling. Goal to Fisher. This time he decides just to thump it forward. Grigg, Scotland, and again they'll take it away from a Sandlands knock. Wiggins back to Scotland. It's across the ground now, hasn't got much to go to, so that wasn't a great kick. Farmer in a good spot here. He's got 4-on-1 against Russell. Solomon, Bradley chips it short, and Tarrant got a couple of touches early. Chris Tarrant. Now someone on short. Duffield creeping down into the pocket as Mark. 35 from goal.
Boys, the dominance of Sandlands in the ruck. We saw another example there where he smashed it forward, but there was no one to kick it to. Here's some of them early so far.
Yeah, and you either do one of two things there as a ground level player. You either solely ruck off a Sandlands hand, and he can create a 2-on-1 situation, or you go up to our ruckman, you go up to the Carlton ruckman and say, mate, just crash it, just jump into him and get it to the ground. Give us a chance.
Duffield hasn't kicked a goal so far this season. He has now. That's a beautiful kick. The Dockers back in front. So Fremantle, 3 straight goals, leading the Blues 2-1. And Chris Tarrant, good to see him involved early.
Yeah, look, he's been getting on his bike. He is pushing from one side of the ground to the other. So when he's up and going like that, he is very hard to stop because he has genuine pace and he's hard to stay on the lead.
Bradley on now in the ruck for Fremantle. Interesting that letting the hit out 7-2, but the clearances have gone Carlton's way, 6-3. Let's see how Carlton enjoy having a bit of extra height when the rather diminutive Bradley compared to Sandlands. Judd trying to get it back.
Well done.
And Mundy just going with the soccer option. It is a pretty talented forward line for Fremantle if they can get it forward enough. Been inside 53 times until now for 3 goals. That was the 4th time they ventured forward and hasn't produced a goal, at least not yet. Crowley waiting to come back on. Bradley had good mobility around the ground. Now the onus on him to dispose of it, which he did. Tarrant. And this is definitely the other area where Carlton are going to be tested, Vossi, today.
Yeah, and look, their forward line, they know they have the guns up there. This is probably, as a ground level player, the one thing I hated the most was when the ruckmen were able to get an uncontested ball like that. Just have to create a contest at the very least.
Bowers, his opponent, Chris Tarrant, we've said, returning to form last week with 4 goals. And he steered that one and just got the fade at the wrong time. He did miss a goal last week at a crucial stage, which was pretty costly for Freo. But at least he's been able to put some consistent goals in the last 2 weeks together, and I'll be hoping that can continue this afternoon. Stevens with a job to bring it in.
Bring it in, Nick. That's me.
Dockers by a goal. Good kick from Stevens. Waite at half back. Beautiful day in Melbourne. Perfect conditions for football as Wiggins marks just backward of the wing. Good to see Simon Wiggins back in this Carlton side. Carazzo, last year's best and fairest winner, always finds plenty of it. Pfeiffer, and he can run. Pfeiffer, the leader for Favola, chipping across Solomon, aware of the danger and the fact that they do go to Favola a lot, but a dangerous kick to Bradley, brilliantly done by Russell. Outmarked Bradley, and he thought about going, took a couple of steps and thought, no, I'll go back and kick the goal. He'll kick from 40.
Yeah, and this is a dangerous kick. I'll tell you the reason why it's a dangerous kick is because there is a lot of hang time. And the longer you kick the ball, the more hang time you have, the more distance the opposition can close and get a crack at the pill. And Russell was very, very good there.
Well, there's a great shot of what's ahead of him. And disappointing golden opportunity there.
Been his Achilles heel, Chris, hasn't it?
So an opportunity lost.
5-13 for his career and just 1-7 this year, Jordan Russell, as we said. Taking steps as a player, but letting himself down, particularly in front of goal. Again, a bit of hang time on that kick back into play, but Peake, started on the bench and had good touches and a couple of goals last week. Brings Dodd into it. Oh, this is pretty stagnant. Low percentage stuff. Now they get some run from behind. They got out of jail. Black's got an outlet on the other side. And it's Grover advancing past Pfeiffer. Took his time, but he was trying to get it deep in the Tarrant direction. They may well have identified Tarrant versus Bauer as one they can get a win on. Here's Bell. Arrived on the scene at the right time. Just couldn't take it cleanly with him. Tarrant still battering on. Duffield able to take it to ground. Helpin and Carazzo, numbers prevailing in the end. The Blues organising themselves beautifully out of defence. Brown to Simpson, and now they're away.
Oh, no, they're not. Gibbs threw it out, got away with it. Judd couldn't quite control it. Well, good tough stuff that from Grover off to Mundy. Inside attacking 50, Pavlich with some space. Tries to tap to his own advantage. Well done, O'Halpin. Pushed him off the football, then retrieved it and finished his work well with a good kick to find Grigg. Well played by the Blues defence. They're going to be under pressure this afternoon. No Thornton, no Jamison. Wiggins, little give is effective. Judd, Favola the target again. Oh, well done this time. Getting forward. McFarlane, then he takes the relieving mark.
Doesn't seem to be any change to the plan of kicking to Fev, Vossi, does there?
It doesn't appear so. I mean, they all said, I mean, Brisbane was last year when they went to Jonathan Brown 4,000 times for the year because they had their gun forward. They couldn't find anybody else, so they had players sitting off their direct opponents, which made life tough.
Those who have just joined us, we showed the forward 50 targets at the start of the coverage. 115 to Favola, and 22 was the nearest for Fisher. G. Fremantle malfunctioning there across half back. It's degenerated a bit here. Ibbotson takes it up a level with his kick inside 50. Farmer quiet last week, couldn't get a handle on that one either. Still he stays in the contest. O'Halpin, Carazzo, bit of space. Awkward looking kick, goes for Judd. Clean spoil from Crowley. Solomon, you know, he won't back out of the contest. Edwards up to it as well. Good scrap now on the wing. The game needs something at the moment. It's a fascinating, lots of malfunctions from both sides in a way, Vossi, to see which team can get it together quickly.
Yeah, and Carlton's pressure's been pretty good. Like, they are putting pressure on Fremantle at the moment, so it's pretty. It might be a little bit scrappy, but the intensity is right up there.
Yeah,
Bradley kicks it deep, and there's a free kick to Carlton. Come back to Nick Stevens. So Bradley doing pretty well. Now he's been called to play on, has he? No. Well, this is one of the problems because you've got to wait for the umpire to call play on, although he did step off his mark. Because the umpire hadn't actually called it.
I think he said stay out, Jeff, didn't he?
Well, look, now that's off the mark.
Yeah, it is.
But unlucky. Stevens, not a good kick. Bradley overcommitted. He was too worried about his opponent rather than the footy. Duffield lives on it. You're in trouble, son. Penalised. Players know the rule. If you drive on the footy or drag it back in, oh gee, I don't know about that though. As Cruiser plays on deep for Voller at the back, fist, and a free kick, a Carlton free kick, I suspect.
Yeah, to Fisher against Grover for just hanging on just for a moment.
Gee, I was a bit surprised Cruiser was allowed to play on there.
Was it Cruiser's free?
I think he made it his free.
Yeah, interesting.
And here's the infringement. There's Grover, no eyes for the footy.
This is the interesting thing, isn't it? Because
and they're holding the left arm there.
The initial interaction was Fisher grabbed Grover's arm and got it in a tie, and then just at the very end he let go and Grover didn't.
Well, he can pop the Blues in front and he misses. That's two easy shots, and McFarlane goes in and lets him know. Grover and
see, is that good for our sport? Look, seriously, for the image of our game, players just falling over because they think they're going to get a free kick.
No, it's not. Cruiser does well. Back towards Murphy. Can he keep it in? Well, ducked his head. Oh, don't agree with that. He saw the player coming, put his head down. Don't agree with it, but he's got the free kick.
10-2 is the free kick count in Carlton's favour. Murphy can land it at the top of the square. Fisher the target this time. Almost got through. Eddie Betts will take this. Oh, he didn't. He need just a little bit of help from Heath Scotland. Carlton in front. Here's the free kick. Let's have a look.
Ugh.
Just held on to him for that second too long, I think, rather than it being too high. Good contest from Edwards.
Well, and that pressure at the top of the goal square is still a very dangerous position to put a ball, whether you mark it or not.
Straight up here at the footy, thanks guys.
So the Blues by a couple of points. 21 plus 19. Cruiser uncontested. McManus on the ground. Chips it wide. Chance out here for Duffield. Got Pavlich short. Wasn't a great kick. Carazzo getting back to mop up and did it pretty well, disguised it well. Boundary line was what he was after, so a boundary throw in the forward pocket for the Dockers. Sandilands dominant down to Pavlich. That was great stuff. Pavlich under pressure couldn't quite finish off, and there'll be a free kick to Bauer in the right back pocket.
And that's why he's so dangerous. Pav looked clean here, and he can not only kick the goals from a mark kick situation, but he finds it at crown level too.
Gibbs summed it up pretty well. They knew they had the extra body there. Now Wiggins and Carlton starting to run and link. Bentic for Simpson. Refuses to be hurried. Good pressure off the ball. Provided by Waite. Now Eddie Betts looks up, sees Sandilands' massive frame in front of Fev, so that's not really an option.
We probably can't see Fev.
He's going to, well, I thought he was going to go for him anyway. Brings Jake Edwards into it. Now Favola makes his little lead into the pocket.
He needed to go then.
Edwards going short, and here's an opportunity for Pfeiffer. Winds up, wasn't a well-placed kick, but Scotland not out of it yet. Neither is Eddie Betts. But there's a whistle. There's a whistle for some holding, and it's going to be a free-o-free.
What else do you do?
Well, really, Vossi, other than the big man in the ruck and where they look like they have the edge up forward, Carlton seem to have the edge on Fremantle around the ground.
At the moment they do. They're moving the ball very fast. They're conscious of getting the ball in faster for Voland to give him a chance. One out.
Everton, Audrey looking kick towards half forward. Chance for Waite. Wanted to go inboard. Sweeps the handball to Edwards. Hard against the line. Look out, son. You're in trouble. Oh, he got a kick away somehow for Vola.
Short kick.
Flicked it out to Bentic, to Waite, to Pfeiffer. Look out, you're in trouble. Look, gee, lucky not to get a free kick there, Palmer. Favola's well tackled. He handballs straight over the line, and it's been called a boundary throw-in.
Fev is blowing. He is absolutely blowing. He's chased that ball down 150 metres.
Bentic, this is Thornton, Ibbotson. They have not been able to penetrate their half-forward flank, though, Freya, have they? This Carlton defence in the last 10 minutes have been very steadfast. Carazzo able to bring Greg into the game, and now they're running. Scotland. Fisher's moving. Just couldn't hang on. Has it been paid? It has.
Oh, I'd like to see that again.
Did he control it? He had it for a while. The umpire... What do you reckon, Bossy?
I reckon my under-8s holds the ball longer than that before they pay a mark.
Well, Brad Fisher, as we said, not so great last week, but been influential so far, and more so now after landing that one through. Blues by 8.
They have been more impressive across the whole ground. They know they've got a deficiency down back, but their bounce off the back half has been pretty good so far. And they are competing very well across the middle of the ground, giving their forwards a chance.
Brett Ratton on the phone. To his left, Gavin Krasiska ringing the changes. Nice start this by the Blues. And Brendan Favola off the ground for the moment with 1:33 left in the quarter. Sandilands. Neither he or Cruiser touch it. Spills to Scotland. They're doing well in the clearances. Brown feeds it back. Carazzo. Stevens in space. Normally makes it count. Kick towards full forward. Oh, not quite. Almost to Sampson. Solomon puts Shammer under the pump. He had support from Black though. Bell still inside defence of 50. Kicks back and across. McFarlane. Back to Black. This is the trouble they had in the final quarter last week against the Bulldogs. And Black proceeds to kick it out on the full. Careless play. When you're under no pressure. And then Hampson with it. He goes back and he muffs it as well. Carazzo's got plenty of time though. Stevens is in the corridor and he uses him. Cruiser running wide for Stevens, and Stevens hits him on the chest. Matthew Cruiser, last year's #1 draft pick. Kick, and Palmer read it superbly and marked it half back.
He's got the young man in main breaking for him, and just can't get it through. And Fremantle's use of the footy out of defence, Fossey, been a worry.
Well, it is a worry, and that's why Heath Black and Shammer play an important role. They have to be able to fix up those disposals.
And again, the big man gets the tap, and the Blues get the rewards. Edwards with time. One last thrust for the Blues. Big Hampson against McFarlane. Eddie Betts, will it sit for him? He's got 4 seconds. It'll be... And that's about it from the throw-in. They'll have one instant to try and score here. They better watch Judd pretty closely. And the siren saves Fremantle. Carlton, I reckon, would be on pretty good terms with themselves after that opening term in terms of the way they've been on top of Fremantle. Maybe not so much on the scoreboard, Vossi, but they have to give the pitch to the Blues.
Yeah, look, I was pretty interested to find out how they'd go this week with the pressure. They really got beaten up last week, and they've been pretty good in that area of the ground. They're bouncing off half-back, using the ball through the middle of the ground. They've countered Sandilands. So, you know, they've been pretty efficient going forward.
The clouds are rolling in again. A rivalry that divided a country has one last chapter to write. Both have stepped up since their last encounter. The king made people take notice in the contender, and the man defended his world title. It's do or die for Solomon, but lightning quick Mundine is bringing a storm. Mundine v Solomon 3. Live Wednesday, May 28 at 7 p.m. See it on Main Event or at your hotel or club.
The best of cooking, best brands, best prices, now at Harvey Norman. Say goodbye to oven cleaning. The pyrolytic technology featured in this Smeg multifunction oven makes it a self-cleaning dream for $19.90. While Fisher & Paykel have used touch controls for easy clean convenience in this fast heating Seren cooktop for $9.49. And enjoy European excellence cooking on the Ariston freestanding range with boneless stainless steel canopy. Backed by a 110% price promise. The best of cooking on show now at Harvey Norman.
This Tough Men of NRL moment brought to you by Mitsubishi Triton, a proud supporter of Monday Night Football on Fox Sports.
Wally Lewis, he's the king. There's only one king.
Lewis makes his way uphill. He's got some pace. Lewis, can he go all the way? Still there, he's done wrong. Wally Lewis has got it.
I guess to have played as many Origin games as Wally Lewis actually did, you just have to be tough.
I remember the 1992 Origin clash where Mark Guy was just ripping into the Queenslanders.
Mark Guy was the bully in the schoolyard that day, and he was picking on everybody and picking on Wally's mates.
Wally, I guess, just said to himself, you know what, somebody has to make a stand against this bloke, and there was that famous stoush. Here's Guy towering over the king. Well, he could have been 18 foot tall. It wouldn't have mattered to Wally because he was going to say, you might have got past him on Martinez, you're not going to get past me, and that's as far as you go, buddy.
I think this particular moment says a lot about Wally Lewis in terms of his passion and his toughness.
This Tough Men of NRL moment brought to you by Mitsubishi Triton. Better at getting the hard jobs done. Love that car.
What happens when chicken and bacon get together for lunch? The original chicken BLT is back at Hungry Jack's with country-style chicken, fresh tomato and lettuce, tasty bacon and mayo on a fresh-baked baguette. Get your hands on a chicken BLT today, only at Hungry Jack's. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
We can buy in so much bulk that we can bring the prices down. By doing that, we pass back the savings to the customer.
4 outlet power boards, only $10.20 per pack of 4. Bosch 100-piece accessory kit, $58. Channel and Black Brake Garage Pack, $95. Roller covers, $11.97. Seagrass doormat, 2 for $4.
We don't just buy pallets of stock, we buy truckloads of stock.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Interested to see in this second quarter where the Dockers at ground level. Notice Matthew, Pavlich, Vossi in at the centre. They've got to be able to get some ground ball off the dominance of Aaron Sandilands.
Well, they've got to rely on that fact, and this is a critical setup. Do Carlton crash, or do they set up off Sandilands?
Okay, here we go. Hampson, Sandilands wins it down into the path of Palmer, but it bounced back to Hampson. Errant handball. Stevens got to go and retrieve it. Duffield in pursuit, but he does pretty well. And kicks wide. Is it too wide? Yes. A free kick to Black. On centre wing for the Dockers. Sandilands lurking inside. Now he plays on. Kicks it very high. It wasn't a well-placed kick, although Peake almost had a chance. Pavlich front and centre. Oh, clever. Long towards a vacant goal square. In fact, coming in nicely. Here's Jared Waite from nowhere.
Oh, it's a free kick to Farmer.
Free kick to Jeff Farmer, 10 metres out directly in front. So this second quarter starting like the first. Some plenty of controversy as we watch it again. Oh, gee. He milked that, did he?
Yeah, look, again, falling over. You know, milking it.
It's not 95 kilos, though.
That's very true. However, in the interpretation of the law, he did have his arms around him, and that's what forwards are going to play on. So we're going to see more of it.
So Farmer, 16 minutes since the Dockers' last goal. He pops it through. Margin back to 2 points. Young Docker fan applauding Jeff Farmer goal. Yeah, perhaps a little lucky there, Jeff Farmer. We'll get another look at it. And this is the great play from Pavlich. And you can see Carazzo just pulling Jeff Farmer back there, and the umpire picked it out. Here's another look at it.
That's the cuddle.
The technical nature of the rules encourages it, though, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, yeah. I mean,
that's the downside of it.
If a player out there at the moment, you're saying, well, I'll make sure that the umpire sees it because more than likely I'll get a free kick. So they're rewarding their behaviour.
Scotland was on to the Sandilands tap forward. Bentic. Wiggins really slick with the hands. And now they're running again. Murphy's kick landing right now. Favola, best position for him to take the mark, and it was just a case of almost so near, and yet so far Michael Johnson gets a bit of a Carlton sandwich around him.
Gee, Brett Fisher must feel pretty lucky after being paid a mark that was a bit dubious in the first quarter.
Well, I don't think there was a mark, Chris.
No, I agree.
But would have been close to an infringement. Bentic watching Palmer very closely. Sandilands again. Which way will he go this time? Back towards goal. Dangerous, especially when Judd was circling. He's still involved, Judd. They work it nicely out the back. Simpson, has he got the angle right? He certainly has.
Great finish there from Cade Simpson on his non-dominant side. And Fremantle having all sorts of problems trying to get the ball from these clearances and get the opportunity to try and do it again. But the hard work by Chris Judd to Bentic and Simpson just sitting off the pack. Great finish. What do they need to do, Vossi, to try and get some ball at ground level, the Dockers?
Well, the starting points have to improve, no doubt. They're being very reactive at this point in time. They're not utilising the strength that they have in the middle. And this is this man that can be potentially very dangerous.
He decides to do it himself this time, but handballs it to Scotland. Off to Stevens. Bauer. Wasn't a great handball to Benty, but got to him eventually. Off to Stevens. Here they go again for Vola, the target. Got a hand to it. Couldn't control it. Dodd and Fisher. Fisher kicked a couple of goals in the opening quarter. Off to Betts. Favola deep in the pocket. Brings it back to a dangerous spot. And it bounces into the behind post. So a boundary thrown in the forward pocket.
And just to continue on also in that centre bounce, they are bashing it forward. And it's pointless if you're not setting up that way. Carlton are wrapping around the back of the contest and they're just hitting it straight to them.
They've got to be alert here. Heath Black plays for a free ball. We're seeing a lot of it now. He got some contact, so it was there. But it becomes quite contagious out there. And we saw in that last contest with McFarlane and Favola, but McFarlane was super careful. Kicks to a big pack of players. No free kick there. Bell able to track it back. He's got Palmer in support. Better watch out. Needed eyes in the back of his head. Good pressure by the Blues. Stevens pressing now. Scrappy kick away from Betts. Again, players are standing up. Oh, that's a dangerous kick, but it was okay from Dodd in the end. Palmer onto the wing. Goes to Pavlich. 2 to beat, but it is Pavlich. Did he draw a free? No. All the pins down. Who's going to stay up?
Well done.
Yeah, good aggressive play. And Fremantle able to keep it going. Tarrant goes in for seconds. Now Farah off the ground. Carazzo tracks him. Tarrant. It's a strange old game, this one at the moment. Here's the young boy Main. Applied a good second effort, but Waite was pretty steadfast there, and the Blues get it to the boundary line and out of bounds.
And Farmer's got first crack at the ball. He's just got to get back up again. Stop throwing the arms around. Just get up, get the ball, hunt it.
Sandilands takes it out and through the ball. Incorrect disposal. Well done by Hampson. Timed his tackle to perfection. Free kick to the Blues. Here it is again. Just grabbed the handball arm. And has earned the free kick from half-back. Kicks to Fisher on centre wing. Blues in control. There's Hampson off for Cruiser. Kick towards half forward. Well done, Michael Johnson. Got a fist in there, spoiling away from Edwards. The boundary thrown between wing and half forward for the Blues.
Vossi, I don't mean to talk too much about these clearances, but it is mystifying how Fremantle just can't do better when they've got a big man dominating so much.
Jode off to Simpson. Kick towards the pocket. Here comes Favola and McFarlane. Favola somehow. That is absolutely sensational. And Favola. Could you believe it? Something from nothing for Carlton. Favola has his first. And this is something you might have expected to see on Thursday morning in the Champions League final. What a great goal from Brendan Favola.
Oh, that's sensational. Back at this centre bounce. And it is a key area. And Hutto, you do keep bringing it up. But right now for Fremantle, because you're getting a clear win, you need to outnumber and get 2 to the same area where Sandilands is going.
Well, again, he hits it down to Gibbs, and there's some hanging on, and it's a Carlton ball. Stevens. And they stream forward again. The Blues. It wasn't a great handball. Helpin was able to get them out of trouble with some help from Bentic. Russell got it across. No help. And Fev again. He hits it hard. No free kick. McFarlane's able to ride it along. Confronted by O'Helpin. You know he's not going to take a backward step. Off for Gibbs. Had to be careful not to give away free. Well, how did he dispose of that? Umpire said gave it the all clear. Dean Solomon. Had nowhere to go, and he's tried to kick it away from O'Helpin. Got a bit of help from the bounce, but the Blues have built the proverbial wall across the middle of the ground. They can set up via Stevens again. Fev's back in the square with Fisher. You can't get over Sandilands' head. There's Ibbotson. He left it behind. The nimble Simpson. Gibbs, creative for Murphy. Just couldn't quite execute. No,
he grabbed his foot.
Ibbotson again by hand. Black. It's painful at times. Bell. And Stevens with the goal. That time to get it over and
out. He's grabbed his leg.
Missed a couple there.
I guess it wasn't hands in the back, so play on.
Sandilands tries to get it towards Duffield, but again has to do it all himself. Aaron Sandilands, his kick covered 2 metres. Gibbs, Simpson, Russell, took a long time. Well done by Solomon, hacked it forward. Just waiting back there though. Around Solomon and away. Eventually the ball came back to him. Off to Gibbs. Carazzo from centre wing. Betts in a good spot here. Well done. Good strength from Grover. Finds it at ground level. But they're under the pump, the Dockers. Mundy. And did well to take it over. We'll get a boundary throw in between the forward pocket and half forward. There's no pressure on the Carlton midfield. No pressure by Fremantle on the ball carrier.
No, this is a critical period for Fremantle. Carlton are looking very, very dangerous. Their intensity has gone up.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Bentic to the top of the square. Favola's down there. He's still down there. Hasn't Simpson been a live wire up forward? And he didn't panic Fev. He just couldn't quite hit Bentic, but he's still there. Another touch from Favola. He's setting it up this time. A high ball. Oh, hang on, is Wiggins. Unlikely full target. Stevens has broken back to the goal square. Wiggins not aware. But this can put 20 points between the two sides. And it could get more by the end of the day, the way it's looking. Maybe this is a new tactic from Fremantle. Start behind and try and catch up late. So, Simon Wiggins. Just his 3rd match for the year. An all-important kick. And the Blues lead by 20, and that's plenty.
Well, this is an interesting contest. This ball just has to come to ground. That is obvious. But the Carlton player wanted it, and no one else did.
That's how the dominance shows in the inside 50s for the Blues.
And the Blues winning clearance is 6-1 in this quarter as well, so
Fremantle pushing their numbers back too.
Sandilands wins it again. Can they get one out of the centre? No, good tackle by Pfeiffer on Pavlich. Ooh, gee, going in hard there. Cruiser. Pavlich somehow did it all himself from 60. Kicks to the goal square. Bounces through. It's a goal. Unbelievable goal. Matthew Pavlich. He went in there and did it all himself. And despite the valiant effort from Paul Bauer, couldn't get a hand on it. And single-handed stuff that. Look, there he is involved there. He's up to his feet very quickly. Got it from Thornton. Look at crashed through a couple. And from 5 metres inside the centre square, has kicked a wonderful goal.
And as great as that goal is, Vossi,
they just can't keep relying on Pav.
It just shows, doesn't it?
They've got two blokes out there that they're relying on at the moment. One's Sandilands. He's trying to rove the ball off his own ruck hands at ground level, and Pavlic's trying to do everything in the middle and up forward.
It was interesting. He did have a short lead option on there, and he chose to go it himself. Son, I reckon, of his frustration. Bradley that time doing the rucking and roving, but breaking down by a weight as the Blues start to swing into action. Gibbs spreading it wide. And the Blues leading now by 14 as Edwards comes out to take the mark. Bentic. High ball, not towards Favola. Fisher this time, Bradley. Had an influence there. Quick look over the shoulder from McFarlane, just to size up where Pfeiffer was. And he knew he had some teammates, Bell and Thornton. Bit of a test for Monday. He's going to have to concede here, which is a good win for the Blues in their forward pressure.
Look, importantly too, Fremantle were able to weather the Carlton storm. They were seriously under the pump. And they went back and they were able to just get that steady goal, which was pretty important.
So the Dockers through Johnson, bring it out. Mark taken by Shammer, wants to play on, chips it. Tarrant and Bauer. Tarrant not quite, lost his feet. Now Bauer recovers off to Carazzo, sweeps it wide. Edwards back to Carazzo, and half back for the Blues. Plenty of time though, and it's been a feature all afternoon. Kick towards Judd, going back, good mark taken by Grover, but in the meantime, free kick against Crowley, who's got the job on Judd. And the Carlton captain will take it on centre wing. Kick towards Fisher. Did Dodd infringe? No. Grover and Simpson. Well done by Grover. Off to McManus. Confronted by Fisher, so he rockets the handball to Shammer, who's got a couple of options. Farmer went to ground. Did it well in the end though. Crowley, McManus followed up. 65 from goal. Drives it deep. Sandilands versus O'Halpin. Couldn't take it. Well done, Scotland. Off to Russell, and the Blues out of trouble.
They are through Stevens now. Fremantle let another chance go begging. To the wing. Bentic farming it out for Stevens again. Oh, they've got options. Centre half forward, long kick. How did he get down there on his own? Jake Edwards, is it 50? I reckon it might be. No. He was on for a long time, Jake Edwards. And Fremantle paying the penalty, I guess, because they didn't make the most of their own forward movement, Vossi, and they just didn't get back in time.
Yeah, they didn't. And McManus had options. He could have broken the 50. He had time, he had space. And when you're under pressure a little bit, when your form's not quite on, you don't utilise that space and you kick it before you should. And as a result, they turn the ball over, they whiz it down one side of the ground, and they've got a shot on goal now, Carlton.
Jake Edwards, 20-year-old, just kicked a couple of goals, 2-3 in fact. And again, the Blues could have punished Fremantle 7-5. Now, this is our favourite topic of the day, Vossi, but more examples here of Sandilands hitting down and not being able to find a man.
Yeah, it is the story of the day, but it's a pretty critical story because this is where Carlton have been able to get on top despite the dominance of the ruckman. And I've said it already, but they need to outnumber where Sandilands is hitting the ball. If the hit zone is right beside him or off his hip, they need to get 2, maybe 3 players in that area because he is dominating.
Is it a confidence thing as well?
Well, not for Sandilands, but it might be for Fremantle, which sort of says they're just following their man around rather than being proactive.
Kicks it straight to Waite. Sandilands off the ground for the moment. Counter-attack here. Simpson, good mark. Just outside 50. And he's off. Hit the ground running. Simpson sprays it wide. Favola in a good spot, though. Couldn't hold on. Grover in the back pocket. Cooley got it to Shammer.
Well done, Grover again.
Shammer with some time. Needs to find Tarrant here. Ran hard for him. Tarrant still running hard. And eventually it gets to him, although Bauer did very well to match him. Tarrant found it at ground level. Straight to O'Halpin. And again, they can set up here. No pressure at all from the Fremantle forwards as Scotland kicks across the ground to Edwards, to Stevens. Dominating this quarter, Nick Stevens. Backward to the wing to Betts. Thornton standing 10 metres off him. Now where does Betts go? In towards Fisher. In front of Dodd. Fisher kicks towards Favola and
Well done, Grover, again.
Well done by Betts at ground level. The kick was intended for Murphy, but Betts under pressure sprays it out on the full.
Grover again. He left his man. He had to go, and he did. He's doing some hard work down there. He's winning one-on-one contests. He was fantastic there. He has been in the last 5 or 6 minutes while Fremantle have been under the pump.
McManus still going after all these years. To the wing. Couple of big targets for them there. They got in each other's road. Tarrant and Crowley. Russell swooping. And again the Blues surging forward. Gibbs as they just sort things out to give them time to launch. Hampson goes for Favola. Run from McFarlane to spoil. Did he interfere? No, he didn't. Brown kept it up. Pfeiffer with an opportunity. Back for Judd. It'll take some stopping here. Well done, though. Michael Johnson able to get the handball out. Shammer desperate. Now the onus is on him to knock it out, which he's able to do. McManus throwing his weight around.
Choose a fight at the moment.
Johnson takes his chance. Ibbotson got crashed into. No free kick.
This is an arm wrestle at the moment. Oh, you'd like...
Look at that.
You'd like that to be a bit better than 13% to advantage.
Margin stands at 16. And the Blues on the edge here, putting some real space between themselves and Fremantle. But Freo just hanging on through these crucial minutes before half-time. Look at that. Bentic's got right away from Palmer after Palmer made a terrific bright start. Gibbs the unlikely ruckman, Mundy, Shammer, and McManus again.
Yeah,
passed it to the umpire, who left it for Kepler Bradley. Now Pete, we know he can give them some run. He decides to go backwards for Dodd. It's pretty fair delivery, and Solomon's done enough. Just. That might have been the Brad Fisher clause, that one. 65 from goal. Here's a big kick. He's kept it low, adjusted at the last moment. Farmer's a good mark for a small man, but he couldn't get the job done. And Scotland goes for the torp. Hard one to run back for Bell. Pfeiffer committed football, and the Blues are going again. Murphy showing his talent, showing his wares. He loves to do that, and so does this man, Eddie Betts. Loves the stage, looking to earn himself 50. Instead, he's going to use Nick Stevens to set up this attack for Favola, who's on the move again. And it was almost Fevs. Not quite. He's not out of it yet. Now he looks like he is, as Dodd feeds Shammer. And a big fumble. Main does well to follow up, though. And Shammer's able to break clear. Open goal square. Kick to the advantage of Tarrant. And Tarrant can cut the margin to 10.
Well, hard work. And look, Tarrant has been working very hard. He worked hard in the first quarter. He's getting on his bike and got rewarded with running back toward goal on that occasion.
Played every minute last week for 4 goals and 20 disposals, and he's been able to steer that one through as well.
Now, despite dominance that Carlton have had in general play, the Dockers have kicked the last 2 goals and have been able to narrow the margin to 10 points, which is not really a true reflection of how they've played.
No, it's not. They might be providing a different tactic, as Hutto said earlier in the call.
Mark Harvey to his left, Robert Shaw. Dockers back to within 10 points. Sandlands, can he find a target? No. Murphy wobbles it inside, attacking 50. Favola comes to meet it. Again, McFarlane in close attention. McManus overruns it, allows Betts in. Chance for Brown. Wrestling at ground level. And we'll get a bounce on attacking 50 for the Blues.
It's been a pretty important phase. We mentioned it about 10 minutes ago that Fremantle needed to hold. Carlton were pushing. They held. They've kicked the last couple of goals. It's just kept them in touch.
Hampson again beats Sandlands on this occasion. Black was dragged off the footy. Betts over it. McManus in close attention with Ibbotson for Fremantle. But, gee, look, there's 12, 14 players around the football. Crowley and Judd in the background. Ryan Crowley with the big job. And the Sandlands will do battle again with Hampson. Sandlands this time gains 20 metres towards the line and just relieves the pressure for the moment.
Why doesn't he just do that? All along the boundary and just take them all up the ground.
It is fine to do that. If they're not set up for it, though, they'll get punished.
Crowley,
it's not such a bad tactic when you're getting your hand on it so much.
Crowley only one touch, but he's reduced the influence a little of Judd to just 8. Scotland, as they take it away, just rolling the dice a little, but Gibbs is up to the challenge, and they've got some space and room to work in on this side of the ground. And again, it's Murphy. They've got an extra man over the top. Big Hat could have passed it over to Wiggins. But he's taken the onus on himself to kick the goal here. His 18th touch coming up for Adam Bentic. But only 4 kicks, 13 handballs until now. He'd missed some pretty easy ones. That wasn't easy, but he probably should have done better. Betts is still in the contest here. McFarlane, did he get it through from behind? Yes. And the margin is 11.
Just under 5 minutes left in the half. Black. Beautiful kick this time. Turned it over a couple of times today, but found Ibbotson off to Thornton, who runs through the centre of the ground. Farmer, good hands. Oh, he should have given it perhaps to Peake. Instead, he kicks towards Michael Johnson, who runs with his arms extended, and the ball just lands right in them. So he'll kick from 45 on about a 30-degree angle.
Chance to go coast to coast. Doesn't the difference in the kick from full-back make difference? Straight up the middle, and they're into attack. Catches the defence out.
Michael Johnson kicked a couple of goals so far in the season. Played predominantly in defence. That is a wonderful kick. The Dockers back to within 5 points. Dockers have the last 3 goals of the match, despite the fact that Carlton have controlled things in the midfield, and this is the aggressive play from Scott Thornton. Good run from behind, setting things up for the Dockers.
Yeah, they just got the run, and as we mentioned, that kick out of full-back, Heath Black, straight out of full-back, and just the directness in their attack just caught the defence under pressure and unaware.
Well, Brett Ratton, he knows his team's had 58 more disposals, 16 more contested possessions, 15 more tackles, 8 more inside 50s. He knows, though, that they only lead by 5. That's what bad kicking in front of goal can do. Can crush you. The kicking efficiency hasn't been great either. That could have been a Carlton free. The umpire didn't spot it. Peake. Fremantle have just got a little bit up and about in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Been able to string some goals together. That is often paid as holding the man. Sandlands against Cruiser. Well done, Cruiser, but Palmer is able to get a rare respite from the tangle from Bentic. A couple of old-timers relatively in Bell going against Stevens. No room for Duffield. I reckon the boundary wasn't a bad friend for him there.
Now let's see how proactive the Fremantle players are at this stoppage. Are they on the move? Are they setting up for Sandlands, or are they stationary? Pretty stationary.
Yeah, all of them behind their respective opponents.
Yep, that's the starting points we're talking about.
Ibbotson to Thornton. He's flashed through with a few good moves in the last few minutes. Farmer's starting point was behind, and Bauer was able to get a little bit of help from Farmer's man, and that meant that he had the room to be able to take the mark and now release Grigg. Carazzo will run all day. Hurried handball, though. Ibbotson a chance against Pfeiffer. Mowed him down. What a kick!
That's kick of the year.
That is sensational.
Kick of the year.
Great thought process. And to get the message from the brain to the boot like that was incredible from Pfeiffer.
Oh, that's hand-eye coordination.
The most unlikely kick on the wing on a Saturday afternoon.
He's rolled it down his leg.
The Blues get the third man up that time.
Not sure whether they need to.
No, I was just going to say they might be happy to just let him get the hit out all the time.
Now this is important. Just watch where the Fremantle players set up. Do they set up behind the Carlton players? Now Crowley is on Judd.
So they've got a negative mindset, you reckon?
Well, that's what they're just reacting to Carlton's movement rather than being proactive. And they spread quicker. Carlton spread quicker than Fremantle.
Stevens off a step towards half forward. Betts at the back. Fist from Black. Simpson hemmed in on the boundary line, but was able to find his left boot. Dangerous spot. There's 10 metre and Carlton's goal for Voller in the pack. Betts scouting. Betts is dangerous. Off to Big Cruiser. What's he like? Big Matthew. Wiggins not quite. And well done, McManus, and Pavlich perhaps didn't need to take it through, but thought safety the best alternative, and a behind to the Blues. Good kick in from Matthew Pavlich.
And they're on here, Freo. Could have released it to May, and he didn't. He waited for the next line. And for Tarrant, this is what he does for a living. Wears out that line between half forward and the wing.
I think Fremantle's defence has been very, very good.
Pokes it for Solomon. Bell's waiting behind if it happens to slip there. Here he comes. Peter Bell, this way, that way, this way. I think that this way was the best option. Gee, got some latitude from the umpire. Peak also. The Carlton fans up in arms. Carazzo can't believe it. 6 points is the margin. We're close at half time. Wait. Yeah, there. But now Freo perhaps should let Carlton get the hit down. Likely type is young Stephen Brown for the Blues. They got some numbers there, Freo, this time. Was that in the back? It was. Against Ibbotson, and it goes to Bentic, who's coming in for his 19th touch. Just a bit high and a little bit clumsy. There's that signal we love, Chris. Hold the ball up. When's another team going to come up with a different signal?
Short kick to Fisher. Still at half back. A minute left in the half. Margin just 6 points. 14 scoring shots to 8 in favour of the Blues, but not reflected on the scoreboard. Edwards. Back to Fisher. Loose player is Grigg. Pokes it back to Fisher.
Winding down the shot clock.
And wide to Stevens, who's had a blistering second term. Nick Stevens coming in for his 16th disposal overall. And certainly benefiting from other star midfielders where he doesn't get a close tag. And to the boos of this crowd here at the Dome, Carlton sharing it around in defence. Carazzo.
If Freo, I guess, had just been up a little bit tighter, they might have had a chance before half-time.
And that'll just about be it. Half-time at the Dome. Carlton 7-7, lead Fremantle 7-1, and the Blues by 6 points.
Yeah, it looked like in the early part of that quarter that the Blues were going to blow this game open. They got out to a healthy lead, but Fremantle, to their credit, were able to hold on. Their defence was quite good. Anthony Grover's efforts, a couple of occasions, was outstanding. They're able to wrestle a little bit of the control back of the game, get a couple of goals on the scoreboard, and they were in touch of the Blues at half-time.
So the Blues with accuracy issues in the first half. As you can see, the difference is basically the shots for goal.
Interesting to see just the positioning of Fremantle players at ground level. We highlighted in the first half, taking defensive type positions. Let's see what they can muster here. Sandilands wins it towards Crowley. Chance coming up for Solomon. Dispossessed. Well done by Halpin. Off to Murphy. And Carlton will go for it again. Good shepherd coming from Russell. Murphy. High kick for Voller with the sit at the back. Thornton running backwards. Well done by Michael Johnson. Voller comes again. Now a chance for Brown. 40 from goal. Had more time than he thought. Simpson waits underneath it. Chance. Well done, Fisher knocking it forward. Judd, he's brought down superbly by Crowley. Play on's the call. Betts will kick a goal. First blood to the Blues in the second half. And you don't often see it, but in the forward line, Carlton were able to get more numbers around the ball. And Chris Judd was brilliantly tackled by Crowley. But look at that, 3 Carlton players to 1. And Betts was able to finish it off.
Been 20 minutes between Carlton goals. Restoring a 2-goal advantage. How will Fremantle respond? Pavlich, Crowley and Ibbotson, the ground level force.
You had hold of him, Chris Judd, free kick.
Judd got the footy, got the free anyway. Premature holding on. Scotland pushing forward. He goes beyond that. Good strong lead from Fisher. Just outside his range. But he's able to get the loose man leading strongly into the pocket. And the Blues, through Jake Edwards, can shoot for goal here. And all of a sudden, they can be back to that 3-goal advantage they had.
He was only being held onto when he had the ball. Bizarre decision.
That might have been the case in the centre. That is the bit that concerns me.
Edwards, steady as she goes. Doesn't accurate kicking make a huge difference?
How Edwards was able to find about 15 metres of space. And here's the hit out. Hopefully we'll get the chance to be able to have a look at their setup at the next centre bounce. But when Judd was able to win the ball, he was good enough. That's what he's good at. But that is the concern for me.
Look at that. Scores from clearances. 6 goals to 1-1. Hampson wins this one towards Judd, who hacks it towards centre-half forward. Well done, Simpson. Tried to get it to Scotland and was successful. Grover, Strong, Johnson, McManus, Ibbotson. Stray handball. Palmer will just keep it in. Now he's got Bradley ahead of the play. And Bradley now on centre wing. Back to Palmer, who kept going. Non-dominant side. He finds Farmer right on the boundary line. So, okay. Now Kepler Bradley's loose at right half forward. So Bradley with the footy. Decides to chip it forward. Out comes Pavlich and couldn't quite hold on. He'll be disappointed about that. Boundary throw-in in the pocket.
It was good use though. Kepler Bradley just pulled the kick, put it out in front of Pavlich. That's not the same mark as Fisher at the other end earlier in the game.
Well, Pavlich, was he taken high? No, said the umpire, and we'll get a bounce.
Well, he was taken high, just the umpire just obviously couldn't see it.
Maybe thought on that occasion he was staging. Hutto
puts what's left of his head back on. Gets ready to... Well, he was going to be the third man up. He's decided to be the man down instead. O'Halpin just takes it away, though. And the Blues, look at them storm out of defence. O'Halpin a central figure there. Bentic and now Stevens. Oh, O'Halpin is down. He's getting up, though, as Stevens escapes. Absconding, using Bentic again. Lots of running and hands, lots of blue jumpers in the clear. Young Brown measures off the pass, but didn't get the measurements right for Vola. Well and truly out of it as McFarlane takes a bit of a chance to try and use the free man on the other side. Farmer can service Crowley now, who looks up. Pavlich is on long. He's just got to get it down to him, which is easier said than done. He tries to now. One-on-one, can he use his experience and body strength against Russell? Yes to both. He tries to go it alone, as he often does, and he gets the result via Dean Solomon. I think Pav has just decided, Vossi, that he's going to do as much on his own as he can. And
he is a freak. He's a freak. He is doing everything. He is doing everything. If it's not in the middle, it's up forward. If it's not in the air, it's on the ground. If he's not setting it up, he's trying to kick a goal himself.
Santoro O'Halpin has come straight off the ground and straight down the Carlton rooms. It looked like he'd been hit in the face, but also he was holding his heavily strapped left shoulder awkwardly as well. He's gone straight down to the rooms with the trainer, so it could be the shoulder and the face.
Oh, this time it's perfect. Sandilands to Palmer. High inside attacking 50, but Bell pushed off the footy.
Dare I say, someone on the move.
Mark taken by Stevens. Wide to Russell. Margin 12 points. Carlton kicking the opening 2 goals of the quarter. The last goal to the Dockers. And as the short kick comes into Simpson from Wiggins. So Simpson on centre wing for the Blues. Not too much movement ahead of him. There's Judd belatedly moving, and a beautiful kick. McManus on Judd just for the moment as he kicks towards half forward. Favola launches himself, but standing strongly in front was Sandilands. It wasn't a great handball. McFarlane was able to break the tackle. Drives long towards half forward. Tarrant, Waite. Numbers at ground level. Grigg shares it with Bauer. Oh, gee, they've got numbers everywhere, Carlton. Carazzo's got it in space on centre wing. Low and hard. Murphy deep into the pocket. Fisher in a good spot. Is he marked inside the field of play? Yes, says the umpire. And Brad Fisher will kick from 25 metres on a very difficult angle. Fisher kicked a couple of goals in the opening quarter. Not quite sure whether he should go for it. Now he settles over it. Little banana check side, missing to the near side. So the Carlton lead now 13 points.
Johnson to bring it back. Oh, fumbled the ball, then just looked up and blasted it as long as he could, as high into the sky as he could. And that's why Sandilands with the mark or free kick. He's got some small men to feed it off to this time. Duffield had Palmer on his left, but goes more direct to Tarrant, who drags it down and now needs to convert for Fremantle.
Well, they've rolled the dice a little bit in their kickouts. They're prepared to go up the middle. It certainly straightens them up, and it's when they've looked the most dangerous, Fremantle.
Good strong grab that from Chris Tarrant.
Big goal.
Over the years, has averaged just under 2 goals per game against the Blues. Didn't play against them last year. Nervous looking kick, but he's poked it through. They're still in it.
That was just a fast break. And that's something that Fremantle haven't been able to generate. They haven't been able to utilise the fact that they have some very good forwards. They haven't moved it quite quick enough on enough times.
With O'Halpin off, Fossey, interesting that Mark Harvey's decided to put Sandilands into the goal square.
Good move.
See the height difference there between Sandilands and Bauer. It means, of course, Kepler Bradley in the ruck for the Dockers. His second game for his new club. With the crossing from the Bombers, Scotland wins it out. Black wrapped up by Gibbs, going nowhere. Another bounce. So well done to the Dockers. Carlton getting out to an 18-point advantage, but the Dockers have kicked the last 2 goals.
Jesus, space either side of this contest from both sides.
Cruiser thumps it forward. McManus wrapped up by Scotland immediately. No prior opportunity there. And
he's going to get pinned, though.
Gee, mate. God. That's harsh. Went straight to him from the bounce, and he was immediately tackled. And the ball wrapped up. Scotland. Ball was touched, knocked on intelligently by Cruiser, but Peake will arrive first. Favola coming from fullback, little fumble by Peake. Now he's got a problem. Peake has got a real problem. This time the umpire says, give it to me, I'll bounce it.
Different umpire? The same umpire?
Different umpire?
Different result.
So a bounce, inside attacking 50 for the Blues.
Look at the tackles there. Carlton 50 to 28.
And look where Carlton are all lined up behind the contest here.
Dumped forward by Gibbs towards Betts. Just getting in time, getting the ball in time was Black. Off hands and a boundary throw in at half forward for the Blues.
It looked threatening, Vossi, didn't it, with 28 Blues jumpers storming from right to left. They'll do it again here, you would imagine. And slightly different from the throw-in. Is there any interference?
Oh.
It falls into the arms of Bentic. Oh, scrubber of a kick, but it's still alive for Fisher. Closed out by the Fremantle defence.
Let's have a look at the Blues setup again. They had a pretty good setup at the last stoppage. So whether they just gather in a huddle again.
Just the one goal for Favola. So that's the upside for Carlton. He could still have a big influence as this game goes on. That was a perfect kick out of defence. And Palmer, and the ball over the line and out of bounds. Bradley, who had just over 20 touches last week, kicked a goal too. He's going to get a free here. Across the arm. Yeah, you just roll the dice sometimes, don't you, when you hear the whistle blow. That was a terrible kick, though. It somehow found his man. When I say terrible, maybe a bit harsh, but there was about 4 Carlton players there and 1 Fremantle. I should have realised, though, that the man was Pavlich, who can just about beat anything in his road. He goes as long as he can. Tarrant's coming! Oh, Chris Tarrant! He hit that hard, and with the sort of intensity that Fremantle need if they're going to win this game.
Well, this is the man. I was really impressed with his work rate early in the game. It looked like, no, I don't like using the terminology of Tarrant of old, but he certainly was moving. He was leading up at the ball. Went a little quiet there for a while, but we know that's what he's capable of. That's what we come to the football for.
It's a great side, isn't it? But the important thing for a forward is not just the mark. It's about the conversion afterwards. And Chris Tarrant gives the mark the goal it deserves. I think I got that right.
I think that's right, Anthony.
Well done. Very good. Very good.
I'm quite sure what I'm saying.
Oh, look, I mean, that's what Fremantle supporters want to be able to see. Pavlich, Tarrant, you little beauty. And when Chris Tarrant gets a jump at the ball, he's very dangerous. That should give him a lot of confidence.
Chris Tarrant's got 3. Margin back to just a point, despite the fact it's 17 scoring shots to 11. Sandlin's back in the centre. Straight to Scotland. Wrapped up by Solomon. Now, what's the umpire going to do here? He's going to let it go. Solomon got an arm around his shoulder. Umpire badly positioned for that. Couldn't see it.
That's the issue that I have with the rule. If you're on the ground, people are allowed to tackle you around the shoulder. I just don't quite understand it. Anyway.
So, both ruckmen engage. In fact, Cruiser wins this one down. Murphy had his head over it again. Judd wheels around. Well, hands in the back. Hands in the back, in fact, over the shoulder as well. So the free kick to Edwards. Point of the square at right half forward for the Blues. There's some nice things this afternoon, Edwards. Chips it wide. Fisher and McManus going back with courage. Michael Johnson, as he legged. Murphy again puts his head down. And he's wrapped up. And eventually it spills out. Kick forward, but only as far as Main.
They have to break now. They have to break Fremantle to the open side of the ground, and no one has.
No, they had no one who was able to do it at all. Solomon came late and still very deep. Going to have to try and use McFarlane on the way out. Had trouble tracking the ball then. Fev was sweating on him. Well done. Rides it out nicely, McFarlane. Kicks the advantage too of that man, Pavlich, who will want to go to Crowley over the top, who's running away from Judd. Pav decides to keep it away from Judd. Oh, no, he doesn't in the end. Crowley got in the road. It wasn't intended for him. Ibbotson wanted the ball more than anyone else. Terrific vision. Bradley didn't respond. It's still there for you, Kepler. He's over the top, and the Blues, with weight of numbers now, can probably do some damage. Opportunity missed for Fremantle. Scotland on the rebound. Look at the options opening up on the outer side. This is Carazzo popping up. Can go to Fisher, no. Goes longer. Gets it in. Was there manhandling that time from Mundy on Edwards? No.
Handball.
And they get out of trouble. Do they? Main. Hard in mouth stuff for Fremantle fans. And Johnson was with the kick out of defence. Kepler Bradley's got to be good here. He's got to be steadfast. He was. The goal's ahead of him. Got a taste for the goals last week. He even goes past Chris Judd. Oh, Kepler Bradley. Come on down.
Extraordinary. Extraordinary. Passage of play was quite interesting.
They might have found it roll for Kepler Bradley. Finally.
Well, he just keeps his feet. And off he goes. Backs himself in against Chris Judd.
Nice finish, wasn't it?
Great finish. Had his chance there when they went forward last time.
Oh, Kepler Bradley take a bow. He took them on around Judd. Great finish. And he's put the Dockers in front. They've kicked the last 4 goals of the game.
First time they've been in front since the 22-minute mark of the opening term, Chris Hart.
Sandlin's way too early. Cruiser read it well. Gains 15 metres. McManus tracks it back. Judd swoops on it. Good handball. Fifo ran it all wall.
Coming back to Judd, I think.
Free kick back to Judd. Who was that against? McManus?
Yep.
So Judd, 60 from goal. His side trailing by 5 points. There's Brendan Favola. But he goes back to Grigg. As the Dockers get numbers back inside the defensive 50. Sean Grigg sets it up. Hoping for a mark. Sandlin's in front. Wiggins at ground level. Mundy. Good tackle by Wiggins on McManus. Ground ball here. Scotland did very well. Got it to Murphy. Murphy evades a couple of tackles. Back to Scotland. Loose player in the goal screen. Doesn't need him. He's Scotland. Kicks a goal for the Blues. And Carlton back in front. Fremantle's lead just lasting a minute or so. And the Blues fighting hard inside their attacking 50 and getting the result.
Just good movement.
That's really on now. Carlton needed to respond. Topsy-turvy third quarter. Fremantle really challenging the Blues here. Into the second part of the third quarter. Chris Judd is going to be such an important player, as he always is, but the influence he can have from here will be telling, as it will be, I guess, with Pavlich at the other end of the ground. Shammer.
He was just on his bike then, Tarrant. He just took off and no one could keep up with him.
They are potent forward if they can get it in there quick enough. Sets it up. Pavlich stays at home this time. Farmer waits down. He's in position, Jeffrey. Through his fingers. They look at each other, Bell and Farmer. Didn't go for the footy, and the moment may well have passed, although they're not giving up yet.
Oh,
surely
that's got to be
ball. It is Fremantle rewarded for locking it in. And Farmer faking for another 50, and maybe any other player might have got it, but I think the umpire's pretty much on to Jeff Farmer.
Good tackle, wasn't it?
Oh,
really
great.
Good tackle.
Got the arm. Got the arm. He was gone.
Stevens almost got boot to the ball, but probably too late by then. So Jeff Farmer, he has had 10 disposals today. Fremantle have had 55 less disposals than Carlton. He's just kicked the 1 goal so far, Farmer. Tight angle, low kick. Doesn't matter how low as long as it clears the pack. They're back in front.
I love his reaction. Oh, look, he does it all the time. It was just interesting body language from Jeffrey. Just
fair hairstyle there. Trainer, Carlton trainer.
And the man is an entertainer. There's no doubt about it. After he kicks the goal, he just turned to his right, looked at the crowd, and lifted his arm up slowly. It was
to the Fremantle masses,
to the Fremantle masses.
Dockers back in front. Ibbotson from the centre. After Sandlands won another tap at the back. Tarrant. Courage shown by O'Halpin back on the ground. Bell versus Carranzo. They track it to the line. Boundary thrown at half forward. Intensity lifting here at the Dome.
And at the other end, Favola just hasn't been able to get his hands on it. McFarlane's just done a special job.
Sandlands, Hampson this time. Wade overruns it. Oh, gee, free kick to Fremantle. No, says the umpire. He'll ball it up.
Fev's on the bench at the moment, just getting a little bit of work done. He hasn't had a touch of the ball, a proper touch, since the 10-minute mark of the second quarter.
Ibbotson at the base of the pack for the Dockers. Hampson again doing battle, and he wins it again down to Waite. High kick towards the wing, tracking it back main. Well done by Mundy, applying the pressure to Wiggins. A boundary throw-in on centre wing with the Dockers leading by 5 points. The Dockers have kicked 5 of the last 6 goals in the game.
So it's a small Carlton forward line if they get it down there. Edwards and Fisher, the middle-sized forwards, with Fev off the ground. This is Brown. They are going to head into attack here. McFarlane now on Edwards, who's been dangerous, did enough. Thornton, Palmer, nowhere to go there. Completely locked up. It's a tense old afternoon at the Dome. Here's the set shots. Fremantle deadly accurate in front, and that's the reason they're still in the hunt. Black, the unlikely ruckman, going to gain some territory there. And Brown had 8 touches this afternoon. Bentic with 23, Nick Stevens 19, Ibbotson 15, Palmer 13, the leading disposal winners for their respective sides. Who's going to collect it there? No one yet. Main with, dare I say it, a decent main on his head. Gets involved, Heath Black. Good scrap for the footy.
And there's Bell and Stevens. Bell's playing full forward. He's taken Stevens out of the play. Stevens was so important in that second quarter, really influential, so Bell's pushed him full forward.
Would you release Stevens from that, or is he's too dangerous? He's got to be, can't afford to do that. Would you release Stevens from Bell, Vossi, do you think, or let that matchup continue with Bell being very deep?
I think at some stage you're going to have to release Stevens. He's too important around the middle of the ground and really start to create some run for Carlton through the middle of the ground.
Sandlands for the ever-present Judd, but can't get it. Black starting to find it. Good initiative shown by Jared Waite. Who dares wins a bit this afternoon. Favola dares. Opens it up for the Blues. Pfeiffer with an opportunity. It's another low ball. It's another miss.
Ibbotson it in the back pocket, eventually got it out, and a good diving mark taken by Solomon. Called to play on. Well done, Wiggins. Good tackle back from Solomon, fighting on. He drags it clear. Crowley was held by Judd, and Judd did well to assume the front position and tie it up. So a bounce between wing and half forward for the Blues.
It's been a good battle, that.
First time since 1980 that a side's lost 3 consecutive games after leading at three-quarter time. Wiggins, good tackle from Bradley. Well done, Michael Johnson. Slipped it to Palmer, who kicks towards the wing. All the Blues, though. Great tackle coming from Tarrant on Waite. But look at that. 5 on 2 in Carlton's favour, and they work it out. O'Halpin chips Pfeiffer in space. Arriving Pete did very well. Solomon got it to Palmer. Michael Johnson off to Black. They work it out pretty well. The Dockers. Wasn't a great kick by Black. He's kicked it in again to a
That's that
nest
kick
of
we spoke about just after half-time.
Grigg at the back. Simpson, not quite. 3 on 3 out on the wing. Bentic. Handball to Simpson. Bentic conceding ground back to Grigg. With a couple of options inside the corridor. Instead decides to give it to Pfeiffer, who does pretty well. Drives it into the pocket where Fisher is waiting by himself. But as you can see with the boundary line, it's going to be a very difficult shot for goal. He nailed one early. In fact, he kicked 2 first-quarter goals. This will require a good kick from Brad Fisher to put the Blues back in front. Across the face, and in fact out on the full.
So out they come through Grover. No one coming at him. Eventually Fev was applying the pressure. And definitely, still on the Dockers to clear cleanly here. Solomon took a chance. He kicked it very high. Ibbotson, undaunted by what was ahead. A little bit of latitude shown by the umpire because his inclination was to play on. And that's what Fremantle need. Ibbotson to Palmer, the face of the future of Fremantle. Beautiful kick.
Oh, great lead. Oh.
Duffield didn't do it perfectly, but I guess all you're going to do is just kick it up. Just kick it up somewhere near him, Bossy, and he'll do the work, Pavlich.
Kick it in his area. I think Carlton used to do that with Koudafides. Just kick it in his area, he'll mark it. That was a great lead by Pavlich. It wasn't a great kick, so he had to work every bit of the way to take the mark. But he was bolting back to the goals, and then he double led back, which found him that little bit of room.
Just carries an enormous weight on his shoulder, does Matthew Pavlich. 2 goals and 2 score assists for the afternoon. Only 8 disposals, 3 marks. Needs to convert here, and that has been the difference between the two sides. They've been clean in front of goal. They lead by 10.
Well, they've got a couple of minutes, just under 3 to concede a couple of goals, so they trail by a couple at three-quarter time, Vossi. So they don't have to face that advantage at three-quarter time, which has let them down in their last 3 games.
Look, I do like the way that they have fought back in this game, though. They're starting to win the ball around the middle of the ground.
Mark Harvey on the phone. He'll be pleased because despite trailing by 18 points in the early stages of this third quarter, his side now leads by 10. Under 3 minutes left. Shocking bounce. Well done, Bradley. Off to Main. Little left foot. Is okay. Mark taken by Black on centre wing. Now he's got a player running for him, Kepler Bradley, who's
in the middle of the ground just a second ago.
Providing a real mobile option for them in the ruck. And the kick was intended for Peake. Peake was too worried about Grigg, and Grigg just sidestepped and took the mark off to Simpson. Towards Betts, who finds himself in space at half forward for Carlton. Kick deep into the pocket. Here comes Fav. He's got it. Great kick from Eddie Betts. And Brendan Favola, as he so often does, finds himself kicking from 50 metres.
Well, this will take a super kick for him to kick this. This will be up there with the most difficult kicks you'll have today.
Well, he's just kicked 1 goal, a remarkable goal in the second quarter. This to bring the Blues back to within 4 points. Across the face, there'll be a contest. At the back, Cruiser got hands to it, couldn't take the mark. Betts off the ground, hit into the post. So margin 9 points in favour of the Dockers.
Last 90 seconds, can they negotiate it, Fremantle, or even add to their 9-point lead? It's been a stellar third quarter, but you know what the problem with that, boys, is, don't you? Now it's
free kick downfield.
Gets Favola.
They don't want to get too far ahead here, Fremantle.
Well, they certainly wouldn't mind. They'll ensure
that's the Favola infringement. Carlton are doing their best to turn it back over in the middle because Fremantle left it behind. Now, they keep coming from behind, the Carlton players. A build-up of numbers. Edwards, first down in the goal square. Doesn't go for him. Eddie Betts got to climb a mountain here, and he couldn't. Mount Grover was too tall for him. And now there's that signal. Hold the ball up, boys. Just really big. Opposition won't know what you're going to do.
Shammer finds Bradley. Been very good, Bradley, today, Vossi. What have you thought of his game?
He's been very good. He's got around the ground. He's kicked his goal. He's been important.
Target, Crowley or Thornton. And a good hit.
What about this kid, Ibbotson?
Yes.
He's a player. I mean, the thing that I was really impressed before, that he kept his eyes on the ball and went for his mark and caught it at the highest peak. He just looked very balanced.
Bradley over the top to Shammer. Is he carried forward? No.
I know we haven't seen a lot of Main yet, but just a couple of the things he's done, I reckon, have looked like he knows what he's doing as well.
They've got a couple of likely youngsters in this Fremantle team.
Which they need to. They need to regenerate, I guess, don't they? As it appears, their premiership window for the moment is closed. Bradley down for Scotland. Is their time? Is 10 seconds enough for the Blues? Is 8 seconds enough? Is 5 seconds enough for Stephen Brown? That was all he needed. just what Fremantle didn't need. They're going to take another lead into the last quarter, but it's been reduced by that late goal. And the margin will be 3, Vossi. Which way is it going to head?
Oh, well, it's been like that type of game. I mean, trying to predict is almost impossible, but Fremantle was starting to win the ball around the middle of the ground. They're winning critical contests. Where they're struggling at the moment is outside the contest. They're getting beaten outside. This game is neck and neck, and I certainly don't like to predict where this is going to go.
Underlying luminous voile, tactile leather craftsmanship, precious shimmering fibre. Asus U6S is powered by Intel Centrino Duo processor technology. Discover the exceptional. Asus U6. Asus.
Come crunch some numbers during Toyota's end of financial year event. Toyota means business. Save over $3,000 on Orion ATX at $34,990 drive away. And crunch end of year financial deals on fuel efficient Prius or hard-working Hilux. So come crunch some numbers now while Toyota means business. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
So we take the rolled oat, attach the wheat pieces, then we bind them all together with gold and honey and other yummy stuff. And there we have it. A crunchy nut cluster.
Hey, you go.
Away you go.
Crunchy nut clusters. Well, they are irresistibly tasty.
The microwave oven, one of the greatest inventions for the kitchen. Great for reheating, but when we cook food in a microwave, the results are terrible. Not anymore. Presenting the new amazing Micro Grill, the only appliance that converts your microwave into a turbocharged grilling machine, giving you food that tastes like it just came off the grill. Now you can enjoy a juicy tender steak from frozen in 7 minutes instead of 15. No defrosting. A healthy grilled salmon steak in 3 minutes instead of 15. In fact, all the foods you can cook in the Micro Grill are ready to serve in under 7 minutes. All this from an ordinary microwave oven, and it's so easy. Just preheat the micro grill for 2 minutes, place your food in the grill, close it and place it in your microwave oven. Minutes later you can have prawn kebabs, tender chicken fillets, even reheat pizza with a crisp crust, all cooked at microwave speeds. Special heat conducting grilling plates convert the oven's microwave energy into conductive heat. The micro grill also blocks microwaves from directly penetrating your food. Plus, the bottom grilling plate allows excess fats and oils to drain into the micro grill's convenient collection reservoir. The result, truly grill foods at microwave speeds. Unlike the hard-to-clean countertop grills, cleanup is simple. Just wipe clean and place the non-stick grill in the dishwasher. If you want to turn your microwave oven into a turbocharged grilling machine, call Global Shop Direct now and the micro grill could be yours for just 2 easy payments of $39.95 plus delivery. You'll receive the Micro Grill Cooking Guide, giving you easy step-by-step instructions on how to use your micro grill, as well as over 40 fantastic grilling recipes. Plus, as an added bonus, you'll get the Micro Grill Baker Spacer. Bake fresh or frozen pastries in minutes. Micro Grill comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not completely satisfied, send it back within 30 days for a full refund of the purchase price, less delivery. Finally, quick, delicious grill foods made in your microwave are now possible. Call Global Shop Direct and order your Micro Grill now.
54 broken boards, 18 broken bones, countless broken hearts. Canada's finest, the Under Attack skate crew are rolling deep weekdays on Fuel TV with the show you know and love. The Under Attack Show Series 4, weekdays on Fuel TV.
Look at that for a contest. Once again, Fremantle go into the last quarter. Extraordinary accuracy in front of goal. 13 goals won. And that question, that big question, will they blow it again? Let's look at the key rested players today and what the coaches have got to work with.
Well, we've looked at Carlton there, and Nick Stevens, well, he hasn't had a lot of rest, but he spent a long time in defence, so I think he'll be a critical man in this last quarter. But yeah, they've certainly got some legs there to carry them through the last quarter.
And briefly looking at Fremantle.
Well, we spoke about Shammer before the game. He's had plenty of rest, so expect some run there. So both sides well prepared coming into this last quarter.
Well, everyone knows the history in the last 3 weeks about Fremantle, how disappointing they've been in the final term. The challenge is laid down to them. Can they go on with it? What a start. Although it didn't quite end the way it looked as if it was going to. Pavlich's kick was smothered, but still they go forward. Hands in the back. Free to Bradley. He has certainly revolutionised his career in the last couple of weeks. And again, it's gone in Pavlich's hands.
That was an almost statement from Pavlich in that opening centre bounce.
Michael Johnson leads in close. But Pavlich is intent on going right for the top of the square. Has he got a high flyer? He's got Tarrant. Oh, he hit it hard. Bell had a moment, kept it alive. Farmer, Main and the Blues are going to prevail. Gee, that's a moment that has passed for Fremantle. And they'll be very disappointed. On the other hand, Carlton can take it out cleanly.
Kick from Bentek finds Wiggins. There's Tarrant. Just slow to get up after that contest. Across the ground, Stevens. Been a very good player this afternoon, Nick Stevens. He finds Simpson. Good running from Jared Waite. Simpson, fain to give it to him, then kicks poorly towards centre-half forward. Judd almost threw it out. McManus somehow got it to Duffield. Back to Bradley. Kept his arms clear. The Sandilands wide. Chance for Duffield.
Oh, good option.
And look at the numbers here. Peter Bell sitting back. He's got Solomon running for him. Dean Solomon, 55 from goal. Main wants it, but Solomon goes alone and kicks it.
Great pressure.
For behind.
Great pressure. The chase from behind. That was critical to that contest. Just that little lunge at the end on Solomon. Just put him off balance.
What did you think of the decision-making
Missed
going
the goal.
in then, Vossi?
Well, I thought that I think Tarrant was up forward and he didn't quite double lead. He didn't push back into the goal square. He led up, but he didn't push back.
Helping deciding to go long, but Pavlich's anticipation superior to anyone else. But there's more Blues inside the 50, so has to be careful with the insert. It was well placed, wasn't it? And this is Main, drafted number 40. He had a full season at Perth, playing seniors last year, 19-year-old. And there's massive raps on him.
There'll be nothing better than to go back and kick a goal.
Well, it's a big ask from there.
They've set an early standard, Fremantle. First couple of minutes.
Carlton kicked the last goal of that third quarter right on the bell. It was always going to be...
Maybe the expectations were a little too big.
A tough contract.
That's what is ahead of Nick Stevens, who is coming in for disposal number 21. Not too much movement. Carazzo moves for him, but he decides to kick long. Cruiser the target. He's got to beat Ibbotson. Off hands. Well done, Betts. Scrambles it towards the wing. Here comes the captain, Chris Judd. Ball to the back. Thornton needs to be clean here. Did well to get it to Crowley. Sandilands in support. Crowley. Now Palmer.
That's a good
Now they've got two players ahead of the play here. Michael Johnson and also Main. Leading hard.
He had Bell.
Here's Pavlich and he's got him. Good option.
Well, it was a good option in the end, but Bell was about 20 metres on his own, so he needed to be able to find the open target. Otherwise, Bell might have sprayed him.
Just took his time, waited for Pavlich to move, and it was a good lead right up the corridor. And Matthew Pavlich will kick from 40 metres directly in front. Might give them some confidence. He's kicked 3. Remarkable kicking by the Dockers this afternoon. 13-2. The captain, and he comes. He kicks a goal. The Dockers by 10 points. So a good start to the final quarter by Fremantle, but they need to sustain it. Last week against the Bulldogs, they led by 3 goals on a couple of occasions, Vossi, and couldn't maintain it. But this is a good start for them.
I like the way they've approached the opening couple of minutes, though.
Just one injury down here on the benches, and that is Fremantle Stephen Dodd. He has a corked right calf. He's got a big ice pack on it at the moment, so he won't take any further part in the game. He's the only injury.
Margin is 10. They look like they mean business, Fremantle, but Carlton are certainly not going to die. They've been strong around the clearances for much of the day.
Do you ever get the feeling with Pavlich, it's like best player goes to middle, then when he's had enough and they go forward, best player goes forward? It's quite extraordinary.
They've done some work with
player.
They're doing some work
just
with
enormous today.
The Tasmanian Tiger at the moment, aren't they? You reckon they can get another Matthew Pavlich?
Oh, he's been super today.
McManus somehow was able to extract that ball. Big contest going Freo's way just for the moment. Solomon Bauer hoiks it in. Hard one to interpret for the umpire there. He ran out of geography. I think he was pretty happy that he did there, Bauer. Boundary line saving the day. So the Blues need to just try and get back on level terms. That will have to be a Fremantle free, I think. Is it going to the big man or is it going to Palmer? It's going to Palmer, who's fought back well on Bentic. Bentic 29, Palmer 18.
Oh, it's a dangerous kick.
It is. Johnson got the leap timing all wrong, and he's hurt. So Freo have got two men down. Johnson getting out, more importantly. Carlton getting away. And looking dangerous inside 50. Mark Murphy for Favola. Freo have got the numbers at the back here. Thornton needs to turn. Well, he could have turned to his left. Gee, brave. Too brave. Got the old ambitions and abilities a bit confused there, Scotty Thornton. Jordan Russell to give to Murphy with a vacant square. Just had to see off his man. Sets it up. Again, Freo with the numbers. And at the moment, it's the Blues that can't find a path to goal. Mundy's able to accept that gleefully at centre half back. So the margin is 10. And now the challenge laid down to Carlton.
David Mundy. Good kick. Wide to McManus. Bell running for him, and McManus hits him just backward of right centre wing. Long lead coming up from Pavlich. Got hands to it. Now 3-on-2 here in favour of the Blues. Wait. Took a long time to get rid of it, but did eventually to Brown. Carazzo had to sit and wait. Doubling back now. Hoists it high towards half forward. At the back, Thornton should destroy it. He does. Front and centre, O'Halpin. Well done by the big fellow. Backtracking. And kicks eventually across the ground. Kept his head there to Grigg. Wide to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer forced to kick wide, but Favola on the lead. And Brendan Favola will kick from 50 on a 45-degree angle. Well, his kicking hasn't been great. He's had a number of opportunities from about this range, and normally we expect him to kick his fair share, but he hasn't quite found the mark today.
Yeah, he's been pushing it left. For some reason, he's just pushing it a bit left. It's sliding across the goal, so let's hope that he can rectify it on this occasion.
1 goal won this afternoon for the Carlton spearhead. In he comes. Again, he drags it left. Contest, and a good mark taken by Mundy. He releases to Bradley, and the Dockers away.
Takes it carefully out of defence. Waited till Michael Johnson provided the option. Could go long to Pavlich here. Instead, he spots Shammer. Terrific vision. Shammer goes to Pavlich, as they inevitably always do. No mark paid. I don't think Tarrant was aware that the mark hadn't been paid. He's won. How is that holding the ball?
I don't know how it's holding the ball. I don't know how Matthew Pavlich didn't get a free kick. Here's the contest.
That was a mark. Tarrant picks it up and he's pinned for that. It's coming back. Well, there's been some strange old decisions this afternoon. Affected both sides at various times. Jared Waite has the responsibility now for the Blues. The margin is 10.
Up towards Fisher, good hands. And Fisher's got her on the wing for the Blues. 13 minutes left. Intriguing battle. Mark taken by Hampson. On centre wing. Pumps it deep inside attacking. 50 for follow up from the back. Couldn't hold on Mundy. Good tackle from Pfeiffer, but he just turned him in the tackle long enough to get it to Johnson, who finds Mayne at half-back. Now, Mayne's got nothing to go to on the Dockside wing. So he's forced to go back inside to Mundy.
Shammer's starting to lift his work rate.
And just a couple of signs of last week for the Dockers here. Very stagnant in the midfield. Short chip kick is okay, mark taken by Thornton, but no movement whatsoever ahead of Thornton. And that's why he's taking so long.
And this is the gut running. This is at this stage of the game when you're tired. So what? So everyone is.
He decides to make something happen and finds Bell. Well done by Scott Thornton. Peter Bell, 70 from goal. Pavlich on the lead. He's got it.
He's a star, this bloke.
So strong with his hands.
Did you just work that out, Mossy?
I'm just watching his work rate. I mean, I've watched him close up. I've watched him, of course, from the commentary box. But today, I've just been super impressed with his work rate.
Just a gentle reminder there from Fev to Palmer. If you're going to stand in the space in front of me, you're going to cop it. One way or the other.
So Matthew Pavlich has kicked 4. 1 in each of the quarters. This to give the Dockers a very handy break from 50. Across the face. And in fact, he's missed everything. So free kick to Jared Waite. Margin remains at 10 points.
Well, they've kicked 14-2 for the day, Fremantle. You'd have to think that it'd be hard to see that.
That's interesting.
That's a laconic kick.
What was that?
Found Jordan Russell, so no damage done. And now Bauer got Carazzo away, or Scotland up on the wing. The Blues not moving the ball quite as fluently as they were able to earlier, but this is good. They've been able to get it to Scotland by Carazzo. Heath Black, good awareness. Could have won a free. Scotland takes up the challenge now for the Blues. Strides out and away. Too
good
long.
tackle.
Was he over the touchline? No, he wasn't. Holding the ball. Young Ibbotson. There's the tackle. Looked like it was done over the boundary line from the replay, didn't it? Designed well on the way out by Black, and he finds Grover. And will Fremantle have the courage to keep running?
Ibbotson found Michael Johnson, who's away with a bounce. Kick towards half forward.
Got to go.
Mundy's got to commit himself, and he didn't
go. He didn't go. He did not go.
Yeah, no, Halpin is able to come up and mark comfortably off to Carazzo. Now, he hasn't got much to go to, so forced just to hold on to it and wait for Simpson to present. Simpson obliges, and he hits him on the chest.
Look, at this point in time, you've got two teams that are still learning how to win a game of football. And you can feel it here, where they're just trying to work their way through it, and they're not quite sure how to do it yet.
Russell to Halpin, to Bauer. In fact, it's Grigg towards Scotland, who's got it. Playing on at all costs. Scotland looks for Hampson. Well done by big Aaron Sandilands. Brilliantly played by the big fellow. Off towards Peak. Back to Bell. So the Dockers to Tarrant. And was it an arm chop? Yeah. Good call. And Tarrant with the free kick between half-back and wing for the Dockers.
We're about at that point where last week Fremantle didn't get a possession or more than one possession inside the forward half of the ground. So let's see whether they can hold their nerve today. They lead by 10. Mundy thumps it long. Where would he head, do you think? He might go to this man, Matthew Pavlich. It's all ahead of him here, and it all closes up pretty quickly.
Well, it might have been the same man who got the kick. Nearly.
Last week. Margin 10, Fremantle pressing again. Still Pavlich was front and centre. Gibbs, he knew he had lots of support out the back. Murphy's got Judd or Stevens, and still might want to use them. Jordan Russell now, the onus on him to take it cleanly. Stevens running.
Stevens starting to get on his bike now. He's really starting to motor.
Can they work the loose man? Yes, they can inside. Can they cut through the middle of the ground? Grigg sets it up. Careful. And it's okay. Back for Grigg. For Vola. Can he have an impact? Not yet. Ibbotson. These young next generation Dockers are showing the way. And so far so good for Fremantle in this last quarter. Can the Blues turn things around?
Chance now for Solomon as he kicks off. It was a poor kick. He had plenty of time. And he's coughed it up. Mark taken by Waite.
This is fours and backs off halfback.
Scotland to Stevens.
It's 1-0 for the last quarter.
Judd and Crowley. Good hands from Chris Judd. Is that 50? No. And He gingerly gets up, Chris Judd.
What have the Blues got to do, Vossi, do you think?
Well, they've got to continue to run. At the moment, they're playing this stagnant football. They're playing their best when they're moving the ball through the middle of the ground. At the moment, both sides are not running. No one's pushing to the open side of the ground. And as a result, they're a little bit indecisive about the way they're going forward. So they'll take the bit between the teeth.
Judd getting it to Waite. He's at left half back now. Wide. Well, it wasn't a great kick. Cruiser and Sandilands, but falls to the back. Simpson with an opportunity here. Well done by Cruiser. Kept going. Left Sandilands in his weight. Over to Gibbs. Feeds it back. Carazzo just outside 50. Decides to have a pot shot and he's kicked. A goal. Great stuff. The Blues not done with yet. Margin back to 4 points. And Andrew Carazzo taking it upon himself to kick the goal from outside 50.
And that's that run they got, the overlap. Carazzo from outside 50. I think the goal umpire was blindsided on that occasion.
There was only millimetres in it, but it's a goal. And the margin is down to 4. The Blues fans trying to apply the pressure on Fremantle. Pavlich thrust into the middle. He's the main man. Was there some jumper there? No. Peake had it knocked away. The young Blues, Grigg, happy to fumble, happy to take it over and out. Let's have a look.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, blindsided.
Hard to tell from there. Sandilands gets it down. Nothing new there. Carlton take it away. Nothing new there. The Blues suddenly rejuvenated. Suddenly with confidence. Waite had Wiggins away. Went for the smaller bets. And in the end, oh boy, thought it might have ducked over the line. Through Pfeiffer's hands, but he's a nuggety, gritty sort of player. Scotland had some options. Sets it up. Gibbs, good strong word from Shammer. Gibbs is not done with yet. Over the top. Carlton are going to be in front. It's Nick Stevens who steps up.
Missed tackle there from Bradley, critical. And Shammer tried to work back on Gibbs, but well played by Bryce Gibbs, and Stevens leaking forward has put the Blues in front. Look at Brett Ratton, he's animated.
Talk about a game of inches, boys. That goal and then that one just kept it along the line.
Umpire down and hurt. There's Pfeiffer, Bentic, O'Halpin now. Here they go again, the Blues. Oh, poor option that from O'Halpin. Kicks it straight to McManus. Centre half back for the Dockers now. He goes wide to Palmer. Bentic applied some pressure. Did he give away the free kick? No.
Gee.
That was superb stuff now. Gibbs is outnumbered, but he got the ball into the path of Grigg, which was great. Chance now for Murphy. Missed the target. Scotland backing up. They've got numbers running hard forward now. Jared Waite on centre wing. Poor kick again, this time to Thornton. And the Dockers, another chance to rebuild.
Disposals since we mentioned that 29-5 in Carlton's favour in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Heath Black, free kick, is their advantage? It is called as advantage and it becomes a massive advantage.
Who else?
Oh, he lost his footing down there, Satana O'Halpin. Right at the crucial moment, Main taking, had the free and got it down there.
Ooh.
Jared Waite with the extra aggression, and there was no contest there for Matthew Pavlich. He's already kicked 4. Is it Carlton versus Pavlich today? Oh, he's missed at the crucial stage. They've been so accurate all day. That sinking feeling again for Fremantle. That feeling deep in the gut. What they've been through in the last 3 weeks. It won't leave them at the moment.
Scotland off to Waite. Carlton up and about. They're running hard. Kick to Pfeiffer. In fact, it's Edwards. And Edwards has got it on centre wing. Into the final 5 minutes of game time. There's Betts offering a lead. That's ignored. Wants to go longer to his captain, Chris Judd, and Crowley chipping in. Free kick to Judd. So one captain at one end, Matthew Pavlich missing from 25. Chris Judd now will kick from 50 on a 45-degree angle. And you'd have to think with Fremantle's last quarter form that if he can nail this, it's Carlton's ball game. The superstar from 50. Drop punt. Is it holding its line? Just on the line. Margin back out to 2 points.
The old Chris Judd would have made the distance on that one, Vossi.
He normally would, which sort of suggests that he's not completely...
Gee, look at this from Pete.
Stuff.
I was going to say showing initiative, but too much so. And Favola wins the quarter to the Carlton masses. They lead by 2 and he'll be in no hurry. He is in a hurry because he can see the Judd's clear. You'd have to think that this time Judd will kick the goal.
And again, the situation with Pete running, he looked up, there was absolutely nothing to go to, which is reminiscent of Fremantle's quarters in the last 3 weeks, final quarters.
Poor Ryan Crowley, Chris Judd digging deep. But he can't bring it back. Acrobatics from Simpson, behind conceded. And they can't finish off Fremantle yet. McManus, the evergreen. Have they got some run, Chriso?
McManus to Black, back to McManus. Don't try and do too much, Sean. Handball to Bell, put him under the pump. Handball it inside to Crowley. Now they're okay. Off to Michael Johnson. Drives it deep. Pavlich again. Can't take it. Well done, no help. And he found it at ground level. Snaps. Fake and goal square. Offline. One behind. Pavlich, the frustration, the angst. Margin back to a point. Back to 2 points.
Remember back to that Geelong game when he had the long kick that hit the post. The captain's dueling at either end of the ground. The tension almost unbearable here at the Dome for the fans of Carlton and Fremantle. Every kick so crucial. Every mistake so glaring. Heath Scotland, plenty of composure. Kicks to a one-on-one. In fact, there's more Fremantle jumpers there if they can get the ball to ground, which they can. And they just can't get it clear. Is that in the back? Is it play on? Is it a ball up? Bodies going left, right and centre. Whistle blows. Been a low scoring, very low scoring last quarter.
Just 3 goals.
And the Blues came up with a couple of crucial ones. Sandilands, no one going for the ball up that time. The Carlton numbers at the back. It'll kill you every time. Waite pokes it for Betts. Now, what will he do with it? Fev, is it a free? No, it's not. It's still in. Fife around the corner. Unbelievable kick at the right moment for Fife. The late inclusion is the last-minute hero for Carlton. And Fremantle might be going down the gurgler again in the last quarter.
That was the pick-up I was impressed by. Watch this pick-up. Gets body pressure. Bang, clean, stays on his feet. Balance, goal. Beautiful play.
Well, the Dockers have conceded the last 3 goals. Hampson beats Sandilands. Murphy kicks into his teammate. Michael Johnson gave it to Palmer, put him under the pump. Murphy. Duffield streams from the centre. Tarrant was being held by Bell. No free kick. Chance for Peter Bell from 45. Bell under pressure, kicks it out on the full. Now Carlton the chance to ice the clock. Fremantle box.
Stevens over for Scotland. Tired legs out there. Carlton just want to hang on to the footy. Fremantle have got to man up. Sounds simple, but it's tough when you've been playing out there for so long. Murphy takes the mark, goes to Fev, to seal deal. A thunderous roar around the dome. And Brendan Favola will be in absolutely no hurry. Spare a thought for Mark Harvey and Fremantle. Carlton looked just about down. They knew they were never out. Sums up Carlton's kicking from set shots, doesn't it, through the day? So I guess the door's still open for Freo, not knowing how long there is to go. We know they've got to be direct though, Chriso.
Long towards McManus and Tarrant. Good grab. One needs to play on quickly. Well done to Farmer, who marks 45 from goal. Handball's out in front, was held. No free kick.
That was got to be a free kick.
Had to
surely.
So
he's been tackled after he got rid of it.
Turned it over, and Wake streams from defence, and that's it. Didn't matter anyway. Carlton have come from behind at three-quarter time to inflict Fremantle's fourth loss in a row after leading at the final break. Well done to the Blues.
Game, and we really needed that win, so it's good to come off with it.
How did you feel when it went through?
Having Feb run over to it 100 miles an hour can be pretty daunting, but it's just a great feeling.
And what will this do for the confidence of the team?
Well, young group, every win's good for the confidence, so yeah, it'll be great.
Well done, thanks.
Thanks, Christy. Mark Harvey and Cameron Swab. An inglorious stat for Fremantle, as Chriso said, losing 4 in a row after leading at three-quarter time. The first team to do that since St Kilda in 1940. How do you overcome that as a coach in your first year?
It's going to be another tough week for Mark Harvey, and you know, he is in his first year as coach, and the expectations are different from the Blues and Fremantle. Mark Harvey was expected to come in and take them to the next level. The Blues, of course, are starting on their journey, hopefully up the ladder. So yeah, it's going to be another difficult week. The longer this goes on, the more pressure is going to build.
Yeah, no doubt that Carlton were the better side for most of the day. They led in every key stat, but Fremantle, leading by 10 points in the final quarter, had a chance to win, and they couldn't.
Yeah, look, I mean, as we said before the game, their best is pretty good, but their worst, they just have those patches through the game, which is costing them really badly.
And it was ironic, wasn't it? Their accurate kicking was the thing during the day that kept them in front, but it cost them at the crucial time. All applause to the Blues, though. They've got home by 9 at the Dome.
This has been a Fox Sports presentation.